Next up, a laughing session from the Laughing Cow. Now, unpeel a wedge of the Laughing Cow light spreadable cheese, a delicious snack with 2 grams of protein and 25 calories per wedge.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for July 7th through 11th, 2025. We have, I don't know, I feel like this week was weird. I say that a lot, though. We gotta stop saying that. I feel like it was 2 different weeks.
Right.
But I feel like it was 2 different weeks kind of like smushed together. It's like the beginning of the week didn't, at least how I feel, is like it carried through, but it didn't. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But we started off this morning. So it's Friday night. We've kind of gotten really away from our Sunday afternoons, which is fine. But so it's Friday night. And this morning we got an email letting us know that we were recognized as one of the top 25 soap opera podcasts. And not only are we in the top 25, we are number 2 behind Stephen Bradford.
Yay!
I mean, that was kind of insane. Okay, I'm sorry. In soap opera podcasts, we are number 5 behind. I think that one of them is actually run by like either Soap Central or Soap Digest or something like that. And in the top 15 General Hospital podcasts, we're number 2 behind Stephen Bradford. So,
yay.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
That's crazy.
I know. You thought it was only going to be 6 months. And we did get a Port Charles pipeline from Lisa. It's pool time again. Please, GH, either give the actor a pillow, towel, or maybe sit at the chaise up higher. I get a crick in my neck just watching the poor actor trying to keep his or her head up. Can I be the only one that this bothers? Thank you. Sometimes it helps to vent with friends.
Aw.
Happy to be here, Lisa. Honestly, not something I've ever paid attention to, but I'm going to now.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in the pool, it's like a kiddie pool height.
You're right.
So when you see them coming up from the big dip, they're really just kind of coming off their butts.
Yep.
Have you ever paid attention to that?
I haven't. I get distracted. Same thing whenever they're in the pool and they're like, oh, I just swam 5 laps. And you're like, no, you didn't, because your toes would keep hitting off the bottom of the pool.
Oh my gosh. Could you picture if Drew and Kai were actually doing?
Right. So
they could probably lay down end to end and be the length of the pool together.
Probably.
We should get a picture of that. I'll write in, Dear Cameron Matheson, can you... Yes. And what's his name? Jens something.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We even just talked about it because of the whole dressing room. But yeah, I don't know that they're going to do that pose for you. I'm sorry.
Darn it. Speaking of Cameron Matheson, though, poor guy posted a video on Instagram. We did reshare it. He's at the grocery store and he's like, I've shared before that people seriously throw stuff at him because of how much they hate Drew. He's like, I have had apples thrown at me. And he has this really nice lady. I'm forgetting if she's actually an employee or if she was just a shopper. And she's smacking him with like a newspaper or something. And she was sweet. You could tell that they were doing it in jest. You could tell that, she probably stopped him and was like, listen, I know that you are not Drew, but.
Right.
So I just left him the comment of saying, she seems sweet, but so sorry that you have apples thrown at you. I was like, but thanks for being a good actor that we have that big of a reaction to not liking you.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of a strong thing. But Lisa's email actually just kind of reminded me that it's been a while since we've gone over it. And I feel like maybe we need to figure out a way to at least mention it at the beginning of the show for new listeners. Because I feel like we have such a good rapport with, like she said, we're friends,
right.
And we share stuff with friends. And that's what, when we started the show, it was, we want our listeners to feel like they're sitting down on the couch. We used to sit on the couch. We will get back to the couch one day. Right now we're both in our beds. So, I mean, that should count. Well, we're not in our beds. We're on our beds. We should do the podcast from our bed sometime because no one's going to know that. James loved my idea of doing live from the pool, live from the pier. As soon as we do that, though, my neighbor will be coming out and mowing his lawn, even if he did it earlier that day.
Yep.
But anyway, just like a quick rundown of our show. So Mondays is our recaps of the previous week's episodes of General Hospital. And we talk about what has happened on the show. We totally, just like you do with your friends, definitely get off subject occasionally. And sometimes it definitely goes down a rabbit hole a little bit longer than we intend. However, that's what happens with your friends. We want this to be authentic, We share our thoughts, our reactions. I love our predictions, I had one come true this week. We'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm lost.
But yeah, sometimes things just take an unexpected turn or, we have to go to Google and build up my FBI record a little bit more. But yeah, we just want everyone to feel like they're hanging out with their friends. And part of that's also bringing in our own life experiences. Think about it. We watch this show 5 times a week, whether we binge it in one day or if we watch a single episode for 30 minutes or even an hour every single day of our lives for the better part of 30 years, 30 something years. That is a lot of our life to be spending for them to not.
Right. They're going to cross over.
They're going to cross over.
Memories are tied to when we watched something or when a character came on or when someone left or whatever. And that's just how it is. So,
or even when, you shared your personal struggles with infertility, and I've shared about my daughter's autism diagnosis and our struggles with services. I feel like it would be stupid for us to gloss over that and to not even bring it in. And I mean, I remember I know I cry a lot, but the one specific one that even Ryan called me to tell me what he thought about my advocacy during that episode. That's real life. And that's what we do in real life. But yeah, just thinking about it over 30 something years. I mean, and we've both taken time off, and I know other people have taken time off from here or there and whatever. And we do end our show with what's called the reality check, because as a lifelong soap fan, I'm sure that, I don't know if you've ever had this, but people are like, you still watch that? I used to watch that when I was younger or whatever. And people think that soap fans are delusional, much like what happened to poor Cameron Matheson getting apples thrown at him.
Yes, correct.
We want to remind our viewers that we are also people, and we share a quick peek of what's going on in our life. Sometimes it's literally nothing, but think about it. Madeline had that lotion recommendation because you shared about it, because one of our listeners wrote in and that helped Madeline.
Exactly.
That's just how the community that we are building works.
Absolutely.
And I know that there are thousands of people who absolutely love it. So I'm not too worried, but just saying, that's the vibe we have for our show. And then on Thursdays, we do the Port Charles 411, which is where we deep dive into character histories, do different storyline backgrounds. We've done locations. We've done interviews with cast members, which one of the cast members' moms wrote in. Mom wrote in to tell us that the interview sounded the most like him that she has ever heard an interview, because we talked about his cat.
Right.
It's the same. We went with another actor to get his license renewed.
That's so funny.
We talk about the show, but real life happens, and we've even had one of our fan spotlights, unfortunately, passed away, and her daughter has written in saying about how much she re-listens to that episode over and over because it's the longest recording that she has of her mom, and it's talking about something that she loved.
Right.
So we're definitely way more than a recap show. We're not journalists. We're fans. We're friends. We're not going to sit here and read off bullet points, even though I take absolutely insane notes. That's just so that we remember to cover most everything. And sometimes we forget things. Sometimes we get things wrong. We're human. And even though I know we get frustrated and stuff, we generally love the show. We have the 3 simple rules. We don't do the swearing because we want to be kid friendly in the car. We don't do ship wars because we don't get angry at actors, and we don't get angry at each other for having opinions, and we don't do spoilers. So, and what we mean by that is if it has not been on screen, we don't know about it.
Right.
And we don't want to know about it. So if that sounds like a show that you are interested in, continue listening and enjoy. And we always read the emails from our fans too at the Port Charles Pipeline. That's how we open the show. And yes, sometimes that then takes us off on a little tangent because our fans are writing in asking us questions. Our friends are family.
They are.
I feel like I should make a song about that right now. I guess that can kind of tie us into this upcoming 411. We're taking a tiny break from Lucky and Liz because I'm going to die.
You're not going to die.
I'm going to.
Practice your breathing exercises.
I never took Lamaze because I had a manager who told me, oh, here's a little reality check. Had a manager tell me one time, she's like, here's the deal. With your first one, you have no idea what the feeling they're explaining to you feels like. So you have no idea if you're doing it right. And then by the second one, you've already done it. So
I agree. I never took it either.
Yeah. And we are here. So on Tuesday, the 15th, we are going to an evening with Claire Bowen and Jonathan Jackson, Songs and Stories from Music City. And it's like a concert that they're going to be singing. I think they're going to be singing some songs for Nashville, but then both of them independently are music artists. So I think that they're going to share a little bit of their songs. And it says Stories from Music City. So I'm assuming that they're talking about not just the show Nashville.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited about this because we're both country fans too. And we're both older country fans. So yes, you need to see the movie A Thing Called Love. It was River Phoenix's last movie. It is like my absolute favorite movie.
All right. I'll have to check it out.
Yes. I would say it's definitely in my top 5. It's River Phoenix, Samantha Mathis, Sandra Bullock, and Dylan McDermott. Mulrooney. Hold on. Yes, Dermot Mulrooney, not McDermott.
All right.
Yeah. River Phoenix's last movie. It was good. All right. Anyway, and then we'll get back to Lucky and Liz the following week. Have you seen the Neutrogena? This has nothing to do with GH, but it's our age group. Have you seen the commercial that shows Donna Martin asking David Silver to marry her?
No.
So they have this commercial and it says Neutrogena remembers. And it shows the clip of Donna proposing to David on the beach. And then this woman, like they zoom out and this woman steps in and says, if you remember these two, it's time for a retinol cream. And you know how I like to fact check things because that's just me. That happened in 2000. So what are we supposed to be taking and applying for remembering Lucky and Liz?
Wow.
Yeah. Is it time for like arthritis medication? Like what should we be doing here?
Oh man. I didn't realize that wasn't that long ago, even though it was that long ago.
I mean, it was 25 years, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was genius marketing too, because I'm sitting there going, I know that I need to get back to my skincare routine, but that was good. And I like that they do it as like Neutrogena remembers.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're our age, what are you doing for your skincare? What do you recommend? Write in at peer54podcast@gmail.com. But no, I thought that was genius. And I was like, that would be a lot of people who probably, we'll connect it. Vanessa Marcel. There we go. We just connected GH and 90210. Oh, and that's 90210 in case anyone has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have anything? Is there anything in the news or anything this week? Oh, and that was the other thing. We will share information about like cast members' lives when it's like a marriage, a birth, stuff like that. We don't get into all the drama and nasty stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know that I sent you anything this week. I did see that the new Dora the Explorer movie, that the little girl that plays Donna is in it. So now I really want to see it.
She was in a Boarhead commercial this week that I saw. The Boarhead lunch meat commercial.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. She was at the deli counter and smiled.
Aw, she's so cute.
All right, so let's get into Hulu headlines. And Hulu headlines is where we literally just read the headlines that are like the caption for the thumbnail on Hulu. And it kind of just came about because I was noticing that they were kind of crazy. And it kind of helps us keep on track, too, to make sure that we cover
yes,
everything.
It does.
And sometimes it gives us spoilers and we don't like it. But on Monday, Lulu is enraged. Sasha makes a horrifying discovery. Gio seeks a new perspective. Anna questions Sidwell. Cody and Brooklyn clear the air. On Tuesday, Brooklyn plays defense. Ava confides in Nina. Cody furthers his plan. Mac plays matchmaker. Liz and Portia catch up, and Alexis is impressed. On Wednesday, Ric issues an invitation to Elizabeth. Drew cautions Willow. Police updates Curtis. Michael offers reassurances, and Lucas makes a request of Carly. On Thursday, Drew gets leverage against an enemy. Michael lays out his terms. Jordan is dubious about Portia's claims. Emma questions Jocelyn, and Kai briefs Curtis. And then on Friday, Trina is outraged. Ooh.
Yeah, she was.
Anna consoles Emma. Tracy cautions Chase. Rocco makes a bold move. Lulu and Laura discuss family matters. So where do you want to start?
Not shocking. I was annoyed with Ric this week. Like, he needs to pick a side, and I'm so tired of him.
We need to not have Liz just going through her exes because they're on screen.
Well, that's true too. But she explained to Lucas that she likes him. He is a fine person. She then went ahead and explained to him that he makes her laugh and she is comfortable with him, but that there's not romantic feelings there. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. And then he goes back to Ava and is like, you're overreacting. Oh, the like famous line from when you're doing something wrong. I didn't tell you because I knew this is how you would react. Oh, okay.
That's never set off a woman.
Oh, right, exactly.
Because that has always stopped the confrontation. Absolutely, it does.
Oh, honey, I didn't understand. Thank you for explaining that to me. All is well. No, he then gets to the opening and is like, here, I got you flowers. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And 5 seconds later, Liz is there and Cody spills his drink on her and he cannot get to her fast enough to try to help clean her up and has his hand on her back and whatever. And I mean, Ava played the game right back because that's how Ava does things. But I'm just like, Ric, come on.
Yeah.
Just come on. Like, Ava is not someone to be screwed around with like that. Like, she is a mature, wonderful woman in her own right. Either that's what you want or you want Liz. But quit going back and forth between the two of them. Like, they're just options for whenever you feel like it.
And Liz has told him, I don't want to lead you on. Well, that's the thing is that when she was catching up with Portia, she was saying, I enjoy spending time with him, but I want to discourage him because she's never going to get involved with him again. And Portia said the stupid line, those are famous last words. And then she told her about Lucky's proposal. And it's like, no, we are not.
No.
Listen, no, we cannot put Liz and Ric together again.
No.
Because then that just takes away everything that just happened with Lucky and how special it was. And it also takes away the way that she's talking about it now, with the, we still love each other very much. Our lives have just taken us in different directions because we could always have at the end of summer him, and we'll get into this when we continue with the 411 about their story, because Lucky stuck around through a lot.
Right.
It was not Port Charles. And everything that they make it sound like, he was not always he didn't always have wanderlust. It was, did it happen? Yes. Did it happen because of heartache and heartbreak? Yes. But I mean, it was 100% his own decisions too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, you don't, like you said, you don't just jump from one ex to the next to the next. Like, just because you may have lingering feelings for one of them, that doesn't mean that you have lingering feelings for all of them. You can respect what they meant to you at the time, wish them well, and move forward. And if you can even be friends with them, great. But that doesn't mean we have to revisit being together every time that one of us is single. Because Ric's not even single. It's not even like they're both single at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, I was just so over it.
Well, before Cody stepped in, when he got there to help set up the gallery, he kissed Ava. And then she slapped him and said it was a fine kiss, but it could never happen again and all that. And then he goes to Kristina. And then Kristina has not been completely honest, surprise, with her intentions. And then later on at the gallery, he overheard Ava and Ric talking about exactly what was going on and that Ric and Ava are blackmailing Alexis and it's because of Kristina. And I think Cody's putting it together that, ooh, this isn't just she wants Ric away from Ava,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think she's told him.
No, she
Right?
couldn't tell him. She can't tell him because he'd ask questions. It's Cody. He would be like, "What are they blackmailing you with? Why are they blackmailing you?"
But wait, why is I am having such a lapse in memory? Maybe this is where I need to start taking the ginkgo biloba because of my age. Because I remember Donna proposing to David. That did she tell him about the car accident and about the blackmail?
I don't think she did, right? I
I
think
don't
she
think so
just
either.
told
Then why
him.
did she say that she wanted Ric away from Ava?
I think she just said because she doesn't like Ava because of all the things that Ava's done. And then said, and Ava's a bad woman because of all the things that she's done. And that doesn't make Molly happy because Molly doesn't want her dad with Ava. Because she got real angry and annoyed this week whenever Cody started kind of defending Ava and was like, I mean, she's not all bad. And Kristina was like, yes, she is. You remember all the things that she's done wrong. She's a horrible person. I would assume that that was all that she had told him because she couldn't have told him about the car accident.
So, according to Google, it just says Cody knows Kristina caused the accident. He discovered the information while investigating Ava and Ric's blackmail scheme, which centered around the accident. But I
Yes, I
think
don't
that
think she told
means
him.
like the overhearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that she told him. I think she made it all about Molly and the fact that Ava's awful.
Okay, I think that this was because the look on his face, though, too, the overhearing, like you could see him putting everything together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we are right that he did not know until this week exactly what was going on. And I don't think he's going to continue with it. I think that he's not going to be a pawn. He will be a willing pawn, but he will not be manipulated. He has
Right.
no
Cody
problem helping
doesn't.
someone out like he did with Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
He has no problem with that, but he's not going to. Also, that's going to hurt Molly in the long run, and he likes her.
He does. And Kristina just realized this week that Molly likes him because Molly walked in and is like, "What are you guys talking about? What's secret?" And she's like, "Oh, just stuff." She didn't say about Ava. What did she say? Oh, the secret that Cody's a nice guy.
Yeah,
And then he
and
was,
he doesn't let it out so much or whatever. No, I feel like Cody doesn't give off a bad guy vibe.
I don't think so either. He's always willing to help anyone.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess he is supposed to be a little more rough since he's the stable man and taking care of the horses and all that stuff. Like, that's just the stereotype. But she said, yeah, it's not out there that he's such a nice guy or whatever. So then he left, and Molly said, "This was your one time to talk about how horrible Ava is, and you didn't say anything about it. What's wrong with you?" And then
yeah,
Molly starts questioning her. Well, wait a second. Why are you so concerned? Do you like him? She's like, "No, I just don't like Ava. It's bad enough that she's with my dad. I don't want to see Cody falling into her trap."
yeah.
So Christina's created quite the pickle.
What a shock. I did like that though because I like seeing them as sisters again. But I
Yes.
hate the fact that we know this is going to, well, because that's what Kristina was talking about was that this week with Alexis that Kristina was talking about that she's only doing this to protect Molly and not because of her. And Alexis was like, no, I'm doing it for both of you. I'm just saying I'm willing to do this because it's like that's the part that's going to hurt Molly is that you did this and you hurt her dad. Like you almost killed her dad.
Yeah, that was this week because they sat down to have a movie night and Rick showed up to
Yes.
start talking about how he needed more money. And then he didn't get into it because Christina was sitting there. And so he left and said, oh, he was there to see Molly. He'd call her later. And then once he left, Christina was like, oh, it's working out perfectly that he doesn't know that I know that he's blackmailing you.
Yes, that's right. Because somehow Ava blew through all that money on renovations of the gallery.
On multiple accounts. He said he got a call or email that like 3 of their accounts were overdrawn.
Right,
That's a crap ton of money.
right. That is, I don't think I'd even know how to spend that kind of money that quickly. And the thing is, everybody in town knows that Ava had to sell Windermere. So, and that she has been having financial troubles, you know?
Right. Even Trina said to her, "How did you afford this upgrade in lighting? I thought you were
Yeah.
having financial issues." And she just kind of blew it off and was like, "Oh, I told you not to worry about that. I'm back on my feet. It'll be fine."
Right.
Whatever happened to that other gallery? There's a
Yeah, we
storyline that
didn't hear
never
about
went
it. Yeah, we never.
anywhere went with. I thought of that this week as she was paying to upgrade the lights. Why are you paying to upgrade the lights in this gallery when you were selling this gallery to go to the other gallery? Do we just let it go?
Maybe she did pay off the mortgage on that other space and she's going to turn it into something else. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I thought it was odd she was upgrading this one when just a few months ago she was trying to buy something better.
Yeah, we should add that to our drop storylines. Well, I guess that wasn't really a storyline though. That was just a
Move
random
that didn't
fact that
happen.
kept getting tossed around and then never went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from there?
Well, I was disappointed at the exhibit that we didn't see Leo there.
I know.
That was ridiculous. Like Olivia and Ned weren't even there, were they?
Nope.
Maybe because it was like
I don't
opening
think
night.
so.
It was like invitation only.
Yeah, but I feel like that would have been because that's Ava's nephew.
Oh yeah. I don't know why they didn't get an invite then.
I don't know.
Well, that's awful because I really wanted to hear him talk more about him liking these animals, but maybe he didn't like this book as much because it wasn't sea animals, sea creatures.
I did love that they also had his wife there. I thought that was so sweet
Mm-hmm.
because she was probably like, after the last one, she's like, I'm the actual General Hospital fan. Why don't they have me on too?
It's definitely what I would be saying. So
I know.
I'm glad they had her on. I can't remember. Who was she talking to? She was talking about the art with someone. Trina.
I think Trina, yeah.
Yes.
But I really do. I think that that is so cool that they brought that in. That, first of all, they changed the exhibit because there was a year or two ago where they were changing it almost quarterly, and I loved it. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I really think that we should be auctioning off these pieces because there is still that beautiful butterfly picture that I want.
I know you do.
Hint, hint.
Mm.
If it's just sitting in props somewhere, peer54podcast@gmail.com.
Maybe you can ask Jonathan next week. Do you know what all's in the prop room? Because I am looking for a specific painting.
He's going to be like, yeah, in the 9 months that I was back, I definitely went. Well, actually, he's an artist. So,
See?
yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
But I guess they brought him back, and that did lead to Emma being able to talk more about the animal rights and everything like that. So I think that it opened up, and I don't think that's the whole reason. I would be surprised if that's the whole reason that they brought him back because they could use anything to open up that door. But I love that they did.
Yes.
So we see Vaughn and Joss earlier in the week had talked about how they need to manipulate or trigger Emma. And Joss is like, me, I am her trigger.
She did own up to that very quickly.
And so they staged a breakup. And then Emma is not, we've not seen Emma do something like that. And she's totally into Geo, although Anna kind of pointed something out later in the week, which is probably why she jumped on it. Because she just jumped right on, like going over and talking to Vaughn. And, then they decide to go out. And I don't think then they saw each other again at the art exhibit.
Yes.
And he starts talking about, oh, if you're into animal rights, you should check out this group, Students Against, it's called SAC.
Yeah, that was still at the pool that he brought that
Students Against Animal Cruelty.
Yeah.
Oh, that was at the pool?
Mm-hmm.
What'd they talk about at the exhibit then?
Didn't they talk about whenever they went swimming? Was that there? She said something about not being able to stand the cold water as long as he could.
Okay. I'll be honest, I watched that episode on the treadmill at the gym.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly what they said at the art gallery. I know that they talked sitting next to the pool because, like you said, she immediately jumped onto, hey, are you okay? And he was like, oh my gosh, Joss is such a pain and she's so spoiled and she's so entitled and all the things that Emma says about her. And then they watched fireworks together. They made sure she linked her hand through his arms so that they could watch the fireworks together
in front of Joss, because Joss came back and was watching them. I think that Joss is picking up on him being a player, though, because how quickly he came up with that story about the dog. She realized, oh, I just fell for that, and it's definitely a lie. Like, she caught herself.
Yep.
But I think that when she was talking with him about a couple things, like there was a couple times where you would just see like this look on her face where she's like, I don't know if this is legit or not.
Right. And then I don't know what they talked about at the art gallery. Now that you say that, that like frustrates me. But I know at some point they talked about swimming and how cold it was. And then they had the conversation about the animal cruelty, and that's whenever he said, check out the organization. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's mine. And then they ended up going out for a drink at the Brown Dog after the show.
Yes. And Anna saw them there and saw Isaiah. And she was like, hey, will you be my cover? So, because Felicia wasn't there, but she's like, I need to be sitting and having a drink with someone because he looks about 10 years older than her and something's just not right. I love Grandma Anna.
Yes, yes. They get up to leave and she stops them. Who's your friend? Introduce me. I would like to meet him. And she's like, no, that's okay, Grandma. Like, we're on our way out. I'll do that another day. And Anna's like, no. Sit down. I want to hear. And she asks him all those uncomfortable questions. So you go to PCU? You're a little old for that. Oh, so
did you go there a long time ago? Like, did you graduate many years ago?
Right. And then he says, or Emma actually says, no, he's like in maintenance or whatever. And she's like, oh, that's so interesting. And then he gets up and excuses himself because he's like, I don't even want to be in the middle of this game. And Anna calls her out then and is like, I'm pretty sure that you're talking to him because you like to break into labs and he probably has keys to this lab.
I loved that.
It was beautiful. But then Joss comes in all upset. And she says that she was sharing locations with him, and her and Emma go back and forth, like yelling at each other the way that girls do of, don't be so thirsty. Why are you sharing your location with someone?
Anna said, ladies, let's not fall into female stereotypes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then Joss tells him, you have an ultimatum. Either it's me or her. Like, when I walk out of here, I'm done with you if you're not with me. And so he apologizes to Emma and says that although Joss is all those things that they said she was, he likes that. And so he needs to be with her. And they end up making out in the corner. And Anna's kind of continues.
And Anna is putting it together. And Anna is going to figure out that Joss is WSB by the end of the summer.
I don't know if I think she's going to figure out that Joss is, but I think she's going to figure out that Vaughn is.
I think she'll figure out Joss, though, because I think that she was suspicious of Joss coming back and fighting for Vaughn and how she did it. She did it the way that Anna used to do it.
Yes.
Anna's been Joss.
True.
So Anna's like, wait a second, I wrote that playbook.
Right. Been there, done that.
That's my Cesar Faison move. JD's not home.
Oh, I was waiting for him to run in. Interrupt.
He's actually not done that. I think that since I've been recording in our room. So I don't know what the difference is because I feel like, because in the game room, the door was shut.
Yeah, but I feel like your kitchen's like right at the top of the steps and that's like an in and out. Like if he was going outside in the backyard, he'd walk past that door and hear us talking.
Yeah.
If
my bedroom's at the end of the hall, it's less likely that
he probably purposely avoids bothering you because you're back in the bedroom recording. There's nothing else there for him to
walk around.
Do.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
We'll have to listen sometime to see because the garage is right below our bedroom, so we'll have to see if sometime he's messing around in the garage. I'll just like put my mouth down to the carpet, Cesar Faison, and see what he says. See what he does.
Oh my goodness.
My husband loves him.
He does.
So I do. I think that Anna's going to figure out that Joss is working the situation. I think I'm trying to figure out because we saw that Emma did have the key. Emma had the key. She got it. She pickpocketed Vaughn.
She did.
So Emma looked upset, but she was just using him, right?
Yeah.
I think that she probably was upset about the fact that it would happen.
Exactly. I think that if he would have picked her, that she would have played it out a little longer just to make Joss mad. But I don't think that she actually thought that he was anything. Like you said, she has a crush on Gio and he's living in their house. So we need to explore that some.
Yes, we do.
And then still at the Brown Dog after like all their drama is done. That's whenever Portia shows up. I don't know what Isaiah's doing either. I feel like him and Rick should be friends.
Here's the thing. We literally only saw Isaiah and Jordan, but the only thing that we saw Jordan and Isaiah disagreeing about was the fact that she was going to have to keep their relationship a secret and all those things. We never saw him get jealous of Curtis, right? Like we never saw him
No, he said
something was up with them.
No, he said after the fact, that day that Portia threw her drink on Jordan,
Yes.
then he confronted Jordan and was like, well, I guess it's a good thing that we're not together. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. When I was with you, I was with you. I wasn't doing anything with Curtis. But now that he has that in his head because of Portia, Portia comes in and is like, oh, yeah, Curtis is more concerned. Like, she was mad at Curtis because Curtis was trying to protect their daughter. Like, she stomped out of his office and was like, you're saying you're doing this to protect me, but really you're only doing it to protect our daughter.
Meanwhile, every single illegal thing that she has done, that he is being blackmailed because of, is because of her whining and saying that she did it for her daughter.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. I couldn't believe how
hypocrisy.
Ridiculous she was with blowing up at him, and finally he was like, yeah, you're right, I'm not really trying to protect you because I'm mad at you, but I don't want anything bad to happen to our daughter. And I'm like, yeah, and why aren't you respecting that? Again, he's taking care of this daughter that he didn't even know was his until a few years ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I just can't stand her.
Portia, and she was like, don't wait up.
Right, don't wait up. And then she gets there with Isaiah and she's like, oh, I told Curtis that if my marriage ends, it will be my fault. Like, okay, good job. So you can cheat on your husband? Right. Yeah. Like, congratulations, you can be a cheater. Why are you saying it like that?
Right.
And again, why are you out cheating on him?
Attitude early. Because Jordan came to her and said, I told Curtis, like, we need to not be. Yes. And she's like, I know Curtis bought it, but I'm not.
Yeah. If I was Jordan, I wouldn't have even approached her and just been like, you know what? You can worry about it if you need to. I know I had a conversation with him. He knows I had a conversation with him and that nothing's happening. If you want to drive yourself crazy imagining stuff that's not happening, you deserve it. Go right ahead.
Right. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. She didn't deserve any explanation.
No. I'm just over it. Yeah.
Maybe her having an affair with Isaiah will actually make her halfway interesting, because right now I'm so not interested in anything that Portia's doing.
Same.
So maybe it'll give her a little bit of substance. But back on Curtis being blackmailed, Drew showed up and was like, oh, well, first Felicia showed up and was like, hey, yeah, so we went to go pick up Jacinda, and although she was supposed to be there as of a few hours ago, whenever we got there, she's not there. And so he's trying to figure out how that happened. And then in comes Drew and is like, oh, yeah, I knew that you were going to ask her to lie for you. And that's ridiculous. So I had her flown somewhere else. And then Kai comes in. I do feel bad for Kai. Like, I totally agree with Trina. Your loyalty needs to lie with me. But at the same time, hearing only half of the story, you do kind of question who's the bad guy here whenever you hear Curtis and Portia plotting.
Well, the thing is, though, is that he should have gone to Curtis first.
Yes.
Before going to Drew and been like, hey, listen, I overheard this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to understand both sides.
Right, exactly. Like, I like to give you the benefit of the doubt because I know you to be a good person, but at the same time, I also know Drew to be a good person. So make me understand.
And that's what Trina yelled at him about, was you automatically assume my parents are bad because Drew said so.
Mm-hmm.
Because suddenly Kai thinks that he could have a serious career in politics because why?
Because Drew said so.
But
yeah. It's ridiculous.
Well, especially after, and Portia did the right thing a few weeks ago when she said, our history and relationship with Drew is difficult. You know, it's messy, but you need to make your own decision.
Right.
He should think about that. He should consider that and be like, you know what? she did tell me to. Maybe I also need to give them the benefit of the doubt and go talk to them too.
Mm-hmm.
But also just only talk to Curtis. Don't talk to Portia because she's ridiculous.
Yes. But instead, no, he had already told Drew, and then he goes to the art exhibit, and Trina's like, "Where were you? Why are you so late?" She says to him, "Where were you? Why were you not here? What's going on?" And then he says, "Oh, well, I need to talk to you about Drew." And she totally tries to blow it off and is like, "Let's not get into that conversation. That's just going to make us get into an argument. I don't want to discuss it." And he keeps pushing. Again, it's commendable, although he was wrong. He says, "I have to tell you this," and goes ahead and tells her that he told Drew about what Portia and Curtis were planning, and she flipped out and said, "I am loyal to my family, and you will now never be a part of my family. Get out. We're done."
Yeah. So, especially where they had already had the conversation in general about them staying out of it.
Right.
He should have gone to her, perhaps before he went to Curtis. He should have gone to Trina. And I understand keeping her out of it because it's her parents and everything. However, look at what just happened.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather lose her because you didn't go to Drew, you didn't go to Curtis, you didn't go to Portia, you went to her and said, "Listen, I just overheard this," and then see what she says? Because even if it happened after they decided to stay out of it, fine.
Right. So they could have gone to Curtis together and said,
Yes.
"We need to figure out what's going on here because I understand that Kai's caught in this position and I don't like that for my boyfriend, but I don't understand what's going on either." And then Curtis could have
Right.
explained it.
Yes.
Because it's not like Trina to lie or manipulate people either. So I'm sure she has questions as to what they're doing. And yes, Curtis can say, like, "It's okay, don't worry about it," but she's old enough that she's going to be worrying about it.
Right. I don't know where that really takes us.
It doesn't take us anywhere. Just a whole other subject. Like you said, this week felt like half and half. So the rest is everything that's going on at the Quartermains with Daisy and then Brooklyn.
Well, no, there's like 3 other things. Ezra ambushed Marco at the hospital.
Oh, that was good. That
So
was so
Lucas
good.
asked. So first we saw Gio talking to Carly and asking questions about Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lucas asked Carly if she could please make sure that Sonny does not hurt Marco.
I love how calm and collected she was talking to Lucas, but then whenever she got to Sonny, she was like, "Okay, don't lie to me. Don't give me any of your crap. Like, let's have a serious conversation."
Yeah. Well, and Lucas pulled her away from telling Willow that if she ever does that again to Wiley, she will be banned from the MetroCourt.
That was great.
That's when he pulled her away.
Mm-hmm.
But it was before that. Was it before that Ezra? No, it was after that.
It was after that.
Because Marco arrived at the hospital for Lucas to give him Natalia's personal effects.
Yes.
And then Ezra ambushed with the reporters talking about how, "Is it true that Sonny Corinthos killed your mom? Do you know that he just spent 24 hours in the because before that, was it before that Sonny had been in the interrogation room. We opened up the week with Sonny and Laura in the interrogation room, and she refuses to back down. She refuses to, lie about their friendship and their relationship because of, it's the same conversation that they keep having. This is why they're doing measure, whatever it is. And Ezra walks in as they're hugging. I'm assuming then he was video recording and not live streaming, because the next scene we see is the security, or not the security guard, the police officer, at the police station, has his phone, and she's like, "Make sure that that's deleted from the cloud and everything else." And she's like, that it's illegal. You cannot be recording anything in an interrogation room.
Right.
And she's like, if you spent half your time that you spend trying to take Sonny down on actually knowing the laws,
mm-hmm.
It might actually work. But then we see Ezra ambush Marco and kind of attack him. And then Laura showed up, and Ezra says, where is it? He asked Laura to side with them on camera, with admitting that, like, this is probably Sonny's fault and, is definitely mob violence. And Marco immediately starts to respond and calls Ezra out on exploiting him. And I love the fact that he did that on camera. And then privately, he told Marco told Laura, yeah, so by the way, still hold Sonny accountable, but I appreciate your kindness, and that's that.
Right. He's not going to be a pawn in Ezra's game.
No. Because then we'd also seen Gio overheard Sidwell and Jordan talking. That was at the
art gallery.
At the art gallery. Because then Sidwell was telling Jordan that he has Sonny's flight plan. And it showed that he had a private plane ready to go to Belize to take Natalia away. And Gio goes and tells Sonny, and he calls him Grandpa, which is new. And Sonny tells him to stay away from him. And this was after Carly. So, because Carly's big thing was, you need to stop before you get another one of our kids or a kid killed.
Yep.
And I was probably reading too much into this, but Gio was dressed all in black.
Oh, I didn't notice.
He was wearing a black dress shirt and black pants. So I'm like, okay, are we foreshadowing that he's going to be joining Sonny's? I hope they don't do that.
I don't think they'll do that. I don't think Sonny will let that happen.
No. But was this also the week that Sidwell told Anna about Sonny's heart condition? Is that who he told the heart condition to? Who did he tell the heart? He told somebody, or Laura. No.
Yeah, I think it was Anna. I think you're right. I think it was Anna that he said that
at the
Natalia has a reason, Sonny had a reason to kill Natalia. It was the fact that she told me about the heart issues.
Yep. She went to visit him, and he actually really sounded broken up when he was talking about her death and that Sonny might be involved. And then Marco showed up and they were talking, and now they're going to team up against Sonny. And then that's where later on he gave that information to Jordan to share with the police, right?
Right.
So that Sonny gets arrested and whatnot.
But still, I don't see how they're going to arrest him on that. There's still too much doubt there. Okay, so he had intention of taking her to Belize. Why would he kill her before he got her to Belize?
Right.
So,
and not for nothing, he could have very easily just had the plane crash.
Right.
And somehow had the pilot make it,
Right. He had lots of options.
So, although Marco at one point, I think it's when he was talking to Laura, that he said that he holds Sonny accountable, which in a way, it is absolutely not Sonny's fault at all that Natalia chose to take all those pills and drink. Oh, who was it? He told Jason that both he and Turner admit that they killed Natalia. But so that's the thing, is that if Sonny's at fault for driving her to drink and do the drugs and everything, then so's Turner.
Right. And I don't think they're going to be able to prove that anyone made her do those things whenever it is known. I mean, that's what she was originally arrested for, was drunk driving. So it's known that she drinks in excess. Again, I'm not saying, that she deserved for that to happen to her or whatever, but you can't say, this came out of the blue because she was so broken up or whatever. This was her normal Saturday night. Marco even said there was plenty of days that he would get rambled texts from her, and then the next day she would apologize and then move forward.
This would have actually worked out better if we had not seen her drinking and taking drugs, and the amount of medication that she was taking. I want to stop saying drugs. I understand that, they're pharmaceutical drugs, but she was taking medication. She wasn't taking a recreational drug, right? She was taking.
Right. She was taking, I think it was a sleeping aid or some type of thing like that, but she wasn't using it as directed.
Right.
So.
And it would have been better if we had actually just had where maybe the guy said, okay, I'll go out in the hall while you take your shower, and we see her take some aspirin, take some, Advil or something, which is not aspirin, but either way. And then see her go in the shower, and then when he goes to open the door, she's passed out. And then in a few weeks, we find out, or even in the autopsy, because then it would be like, well, how did she get all that? And then in a few weeks, we just get the flashback of her drinking and taking too many sleeping pills. But unfortunately, that's not an uncommon combo.
Right. I mean, that's why it's printed on the bottle not to take with alcohol.
Right.
So yeah,
So-
I don't know how they're going to prove. I mean, yes, Sonny is involved the same way that the DA is involved, pressuring her whenever they should have just said, okay, this is your second driving while drunk. You need to complete this therapy or this whatever sessions, whatever they do for that,
Right.
instead of trying to use it against her.
Right. But Sonny also told Gio that he supports Tracy protecting him.
Yes.
So this is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then Gio left Sonny's, and that's whenever he shows up at the Quartermains and hears Lulu and Brooklyn just going at it. I'm just tired of it. Like, I really do hope that this week was the end of it, because Dante kind of stepped in after the fact and was like, look, and this needs to end. I understand you have guilt over giving Gio up, and hopefully this all works out, but you and Lulu need to quit going back and forth at each other because it's not resolving anything. But Gio walked in on Lulu yelling at Brooklyn because Rocco had just found out that he hadn't been carried by Lulu. It was Britt Westbourne and all of that.
Why did neither of us even consider that like he didn't know? And that when Lulu was so proud that she's never lied to her kid, and then we open up the week, because that's how we ended last week, was he asked, tell me about Britt Westbourne. And sure enough, she doesn't even try to start. He straight up asks, is Britt my real mother? And then she's like, let me call your dad.
Right. I would be reassuring you first that no, no, she's not.
And they had a plan that got off track when, she wound up in the coma. Okay, you got out of a coma for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it's really only been 6 months.
Either way, long enough to be like, oh, hey, by the way. Especially, I feel like this would have been, the stuff with Gio would have been the perfect opening for Lulu to say, I see the issues that hiding secrets from your kids can cause. I would want to have this conversation with you now just so that you're aware. And
Yeah.
she could have said it to him 2 months ago and it would have gone completely different. Like, obviously, he still has questions. And I mean, that is a normal question. If somebody wouldn't have went ahead and carried the embryo, what were you going to do with it? Would I even be here? So that makes sense. But I don't think it would have been this traumatic thing that it turned into because he found it in the file.
Well, especially if they so they really had a plan that when he got to a certain age, they were going to explain it to him. Exactly. But she's saying about how there wasn't time or anything. You had time to dig up Gio's information.
Right.
You couldn't spend a half hour with your own kid.
Right.
You had time to go get Charlotte, who we never see.
Yep.
But he found both of his birth certificates and saw that his name was originally Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And at least they did reassure him that he was both genetically, both theirs.
Yes.
The poor heartbreak, though, when he's like, so I wouldn't even be here if she hadn't stolen me.
Mm-hmm.
That just hurt. And then he went and asked Jason about Britt, and he's like, this is really nice to hear because most people have really bad stuff to say about her.
Mm-hmm. And then Lulu went off on Jason.
Well, and Jason even said, though, he's like, listen, I was not in town when that stuff happened, but she was honest about the stuff when they talked about it, and she had changed.
Right.
Yeah, Lulu just went off on everyone this week.
She did. And I just feel like they're making this feud between her and Brooklyn more than it actually is. Do you know what I mean? Like, like the feud between
Carly and Nina?
No, I was going to say Leslie and
Monica.
Yes, thank you.
Gotcha.
I couldn't bring it up. Like that are fights that no one will ever forget because they were deep seated in things. This is
right.
You flirted with my boyfriend whenever we were just dating years and years ago. So now I still hate you because I just came out of a coma and now I'm going to dig up
Carly
the
hired Brooklyn to break them up, and yet she's fine with Carly.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. It's just not as
I getcha.
deep rooted. Yeah. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but yeah, it's like if you meet someone tomorrow that you don't like, you don't have that same hatred for them as someone that you met 20 years ago and had issues with. And I know that the stuff with Brooklyn and Dante back then, with Carly hiring her for all of that was a while ago, but then you did find out the story and that Brooklyn wasn't trying to go after your man. So, like, move on. It's fine.
Well, so also, I like the quick gloss over on this. So we tried Auntie Maxie and that just didn't work.
Right. Right.
By the way, let me tell you about Georgie.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot, but then we saw Rocco did a Google search. Okay, so the thing that I love the most though is when Lulu calls Laura in a panic and Laura comes over and is like, what's wrong? And, Laura's assuming that Rocco knows all these things until Lulu says he didn't know. And Laura's still kind of like,
right.
And then she's like, well, it upset me. And then she goes, oh, honey. It's like she realized, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be comforting her right now because that's what she's going for. I don't think I need to, but
she called her baby a few times, and I was like, please stop calling her baby. She's not the baby. Yes. She's not a baby. She's not the victim in this situation. She did plenty of crappy stuff, and then this was the retaliation. Not saying it was right, but it happened.
Well, and I agree that there's not really a difference between what she intentionally did with, and the thing that is killing me is she is saying the same exact things that she said to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn just called her out on that. She's like, funny, you didn't think that it was my decision to tell my son that he was adopted, but it's your decision to do it. My favorite, okay, sorry, I keep saying my favorite. When Brooklyn's like, everybody in town knows.
Right. Yours was public record that you didn't have to dig for. My stuff, you had to check records from other states.
Right. Should have spent that half hour with your kid.
Right.
But so Laura talks to Rocco and tells him.
That was so sweet.
Oh, we had such good grandmas this week. I want them as my grandma. I miss my Grammy.
Yeah. It was very sweet.
Anyway, she's like, so you've had a rough day, kiddo. He's like, you think? But he repeated that, if Britt hadn't stolen the embryo, I wouldn't be here. And I like that she said, and what makes you keep thinking about that? And he's like, 'cause I feel like they wouldn't have wanted me. And she was like, yeah, they definitely wanted you. They fought hard and they would call you your little miracle. And just remember, miracles don't always come, like they don't often happen the way that we want them to or we expect them to, and then she puts it back on when Lulu was in the coma and she would sit there or he would sit there beside her and, wish that she would wake up and everything. So they had a nice comforting and Lulu overhears everything. Meanwhile, Rocco goes to his room and does a web search for Dr. Obrecht. Are we going to get Liesel? But we're totally going to get her.
We are.
So
she has
the search
to
results
respond.
are.
Oh, geez. I didn't zoom in on them the way that you did, I'm sure.
I had to. I was just like, okay, what shows up whenever you spider web Liesel? The first was Frankfurt Medical Symposium, the interplay of psychology and biology. Her email address, and it is the email address that he wrote to, is liesel.obrecht@deutschmail.de.
Okay.
The second link is her MySpace page, which her name is Dr. Liesel Obrecht. She got the doctor in there.
Of course.
The third one is an article by the invader of Dr. Britt Westbourne mourned at GH. Then there's like the beginning of the article, how they have like this snippet. And it says, one mourner at the memorial was Dr. Liesel Obrecht, Dr. Westbourne's mother. It was gratifying to see how appreciated she was, Dr. Obrecht told us in a brief comment, and then ... And then the next one was the hook claims another victim. It was also by the invader. And it says that she is survived by her mother, Liesel Obrecht. Dr. Westbourne had been celebrating her birthday, ... And then the last one was major staff shakeup rocks General Hospital. Another article from the invader. The staff of GH were in for a major shock when it was revealed that Dr. Liesel Obrecht would be taking over as chief of staff of General Hospital. So they really got like a nice, do you know what would have been awesome is if they had a recipe, like a link to a recipe, because we know that Kathleen did all the baking and cooking. Because when we talked to her, that's what we talked about. We didn't talk about her. We talked a lot about her acting career, but we also talked about her baking. Yes. That's just what we do. So then he opens up an email and emails Dr. Obrecht. I like it.
Yep. I know. I can't wait for him to get a response from her. She's going to be all over that.
I'm really curious about it because I love when Laura said, keep asking questions. Because like, if you have questions, keep asking because it's your life. Because he knows that Lulu and Dante are biologically his parents. So why, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but like, why is he so fixated on Britt?
I feel like he knows, even though he doesn't know, he knows that there's more to the story because they weren't completely honest with him. When he said, "Are you my mom and dad?" Even when Lulu was repeating back to Laura, she was like, we're the parents, we're the only parents he's ever known, blah, blah, blah. They may be the only parents that he remembers because you don't traditionally remember a lot whenever you're a baby. But Ben was with Britt for a good 6 months, 9 months. Like she
And Nicholas,
took care
right?
of him.
He was with Nicholas.
Right.
So
yeah, like his first smile, his first rolling over, his first sitting up,
Right.
like that was all Britt. That wasn't Lulu.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jason said that Britt was so honest about how raising him or taking care of him really changed her.
Yes.
Of course he's going to be curious then.
Poor baby.
Mm-hmm. It's going to get good.
It is.
But I did feel bad for Brooklyn because then on the opposite of that, we saw Brooklyn back at the Quartermains, and out by the pool, we saw Chase and Tracy warning him like, "Hey, I know my granddaughter and things aren't going well. You need to be on the lookout." And he was like, "I don't want to talk to you about stuff with Brooklyn. If you have concerns, you need to talk to Brooklyn." And then we see Brooklyn in the house and Michael being like, "Hey, what's wrong? You don't have to talk to me, but I'm here." And her just saying that Gio's never going to trust her now, even more so. And then Dante comes in, and that's whenever he basically says, like, "You and Lulu need to stop, okay? I don't know why you guys have to keep going back and forth, but this isn't going to end well for either one of you. And more importantly, it's not going to end well for the children involved. So how about you guys just stop?"
Right.
And they kind of came to a nice place. I was happy to see them.
When Michael yelled at Dante and was like, "You need to stop because you don't know how difficult it was for Brooklyn to make that decision," because no one else has any idea. Oh, that was the other thing that we'll talk about that. No one else knows the decision that he just had to make. And
Right.
Dante actually, it seemed like he's like, "You're right, I don't." And then I love Brooklyn was like, "Michael, thank you for standing up for me, but this is something for Dante and I talk about." And then first thing she's like, "All right, come on, yell at me again."
Right.
But he did believe her. He's like, "I can see that you're genuinely, truly sorry." Whereas Lulu keeps defending her decision. And it's very obvious, I feel, that Brooklyn is devastated about the fact that Rocco found out. And yeah, she was careless, but
she had made the decision, like, yes, she got all that information to throw in Lulu's face, but then she made the decision not to do that. Right. And was going to, get rid of the information or whatever. And then the boys found it and it all leaked out. Where Lulu was threatening, if this person doesn't tell, I'm going to. If this person doesn't tell, I'm going to. It was completely different.
Yes, exactly. I was so torn on Chase's responses to Tracy, because when he said, "If you have a problem with Brooklyn, you need to take it up with her." At the same time, if I had a major concern about you, that I was like really, truly worried about you, I don't think it's unfair of me to go to Ryan and be like, "Listen, I'm really worried about Amanda. We need to, find a way to reach her and keep her from hurting herself in the long run even more." I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think that under normal circumstances that would have been Chase's reaction. I think because of everything that just happened with Gloria and Lois, that was his reaction, because he didn't want it to get back to Brooklyn that people were talking behind her back again and keeping secrets on things that they thought about her the way that Gloria and Lois had.
Good point. I didn't think about that, because I did like when she said about how there's a lot of things that Brooklyn and I have in common. He's like, "Yes, I know. There are a lot of ways that you are alike." And Tracy said, "But you see her through rose-colored glasses." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of biased towards my wife." But I love that he admitted that to her, because I know that Tracy acknowledged, like she has been a lot recently, that Brooklyn hasn't taken it as far as she has with some things, but she can see that there is the possibility and the trajectory of it. And she's kind of like, "Listen, this was my breaking point. This was my tipping point. We need to keep her from getting there."
Right. And Tracy, separate from all of that is just stuck because she cares about both of those girls and doesn't want to see either one of them being hurt, especially by things that happened so long ago in the past.
Right. So I guess it just stinks. Well, and Brooklyn brought up though, she's like, well, now Gio hates me a little extra, so that leaves more room for you to kind of, maybe get a relationship with him. So go for it. Do we want to stick in the Quartermain Mansion? Stay in the Quartermain Mansion?
I think so.
So Daisy's miss. Oh, first of all, 4th of July. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the 4th of July. Jeez. So Sasha and Cody were discussing Daisy down at the boathouse, and they're just preparing, the dock to watch the fireworks and everything. I loved Cody, Brooklyn, and Michael all standing there talking about how last year it was that was the night that Cody told Mac. Oh, Mac was so sweet telling Molly all about how great Cody is and how they should double date and everything. Oh, so sorry.
Yes.
We forgot to do that. But so last year on the 4th of July, I guess, is the day that Cody told Mac. And then Michael's like, yeah, and I didn't know that it was the day that my marriage was ending because that's the day that Drew and Willow had their first kiss. And Brooklyn's like, yeah, and I didn't know that I was spending 4th of July with my son.
Right.
And I really like that. I thought that was fun. But then Sasha went up to see Daisy. They took
Daisy. Yeah, they took Daisy up. Like you saw everything happen, and then you saw them take Daisy up and put her down for her nap. Because like Michael helped put her to bed even. So he was definitely knew she was in her crib. She was put to bed. And then as the fireworks started going off, then Daisy started crying. And
yeah.
I mean, basically, this is a case of what we said last week. Why don't we have video monitors? And then someone said something about the nursery, and he was like, oh, I got rid of that camera whenever all this stuff happened with Willow. And it's like, no, if you have a new baby in the house, you would still have cameras up all over the place. Like, that's just the technology of today.
You would reinstall them.
Yes, exactly.
And they're not even installed. You just place.
Right. You can just put them anywhere. Like, cameras are so cheap now. I find it hard to believe that there's many people without cameras on their babies. But anyway, so then she goes up. Like Michael says, do you want me to get her? And she's like, no, I got it. And so she gets up to the nursery and Daisy's gone. And then she goes downstairs to the living room and Daisy's not there either. And she starts freaking out. And that was whenever we saw whenever we saw Ned. I was going to say Ned and Lois.
Wrong decade there.
I was going to say, now we're going back to the 90s. Sorry. Olivia and Ned came in and was like, what's wrong or whatever. And they were helping and the police were helping and like all the guards and everyone were helping to look. And then all of a sudden, Olivia goes into the living room and is like, Daisy's right here. And everyone's
none of them looked in there before they called the cops.
Right, exactly. We just stood in the foyer yelling, like, what are you talking about? Right. And so then she pulls Michael aside and is like, Sasha's been through a lot with Liam and the fact that this was an unexpected pregnancy and all of those things. So you really should be watching out for postpartum. And I'm like, I don't think that part of postpartum is thinking that your baby disappears all of a sudden. Like, that's not a traditional sign.
That you misplaced your baby and she's not where you just... First of all, can we just talk about the fact that they actually got, like, pretty darn close to newborn? I feel like this is the best that we have seen in a long time because you get the little poos. You get the little...
Yes. Whenever that baby smiles. So it's actually a little boy that's playing Daisy. But whenever you get his little smile, like when that was what was funny, whenever Willow like leaned over and was like, hey Daisy, and went to pick her up, the like cutest smile came across. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to snuggle that baby all day. But yeah, so she turns up in the living room and everyone thinks that Sasha's crazy. And then at the same time, we see that Willow's running late to meet Nina and is blaming it on traffic. And Nina's like, I got here just a few minutes before you. I didn't run into any traffic. What are you talking about? And so then she's like, oh, actually, I was on the phone with Drew. Sorry, our conversation ran over. And Nina just kind of rolls her eyes like, okay, I guess that's believable, even though it's gross. And then they show us a nice flashback of no, it's actually her taking Daisy, which is what we all suspected to begin with.
You didn't agree with me.
I think it was too easy. I didn't want it to be that. It's not so
But
much.
that's what I was right about.
Yeah. Okay. So you were right, but I didn't want you to be right just because I feel like that was too easy. But it was the easy assumption.
I mean, but you made a good point where she's been banned. So, like, how is nobody seeing her?
Right, exactly. It's the Quartermain
But
property. I feel like if I tried to break into one of the wealthier properties in our community, I wouldn't make it 3 steps on their lawn before I was tackled or a guard dog came out.
but
But
she lived there. She probably does know like all the. I mean, maybe she took a rowboat across the lake.
then they
Maybe
would have
she
seen her at the
surfed over.
boathouse. They would have seen her. They would have seen her if she would cross the lake. They would have seen her because they were at the
Maybe
boathouse.
she was wearing Drew's Navy SEAL outfit.
Okay. Do we have a Harry Potter invisible cloak I didn't know about hanging around?
But as she's holding Daisy, she's saying, "My arms are empty." Oh no, she told that to Drew, but she said that your parents betrayed me, and so now I have to mess with you.
Right. They need to feel what it feels like to not know where their child is or something like that. It was just the whole concept of it was weird because they didn't kidnap her child like she doesn't know where her children are. They're in the bedroom right next door. If I went through all the trouble to break into a house, I would be checking on my own children, not be messing with someone else's baby.
I really wish they had incorporated her haircut to be part of her breakdown because, and we've talked about this before, women do drastic things to their hair when certain, if you go through a breakup, I've gotten my hair cut, you just do it. But I wish that we had almost seen like in Empire Records when Deb goes into the bathroom with her hair and then just like fix it. I mean, maybe not have her pick it, but I mean, she definitely could have done like cut her own hair super short and had it be, part of the breakdown where she couldn't even stand to touch her hair because Wiley had touched it, or something like that, because they would just remind like something, And I mean, we don't have to incorporate every single actor's physical change, but I feel like there was definitely an opportunity there because now we are seeing Willow break.
Yes.
And
I'm disappointed that as Sasha's saying that she has to leave, that Michael isn't saying, can I have just like 3 more days so I can put security cameras in and see what's going on here, get a better idea of where this is coming from? Because he told her he believes her. And that she's not going crazy. He doesn't think it's postpartum. He said it was actually very sweet. He said, I've seen you when you were unwell, and that's not what this is. So I trust you. I believe you. And it was a really sweet moment between the two of them. So I would have liked to have seen him say, can I just try? Like, I want to figure this out before you leave. Because...
Or at least let's give it a day or two to be able to do that because this has been happening so quickly. We should be able to catch the person, and even just have it be, I'll sleep in the nursery,
Right.
Where, but then he gets Jason and asks him to help. It's so heartbreaking, but it still gives me like warm and fuzzies seeing it because you can just see Jason being like, dude, this is how I got you, was because your mom was having a break. And, I raised you and now and Sasha's not, something else is happening.
Right.
But I don't know. I took it there where I was just like, oh, Michael's not going to be able to see Daisy the same amount of time that like Jason was raising Michael. But yeah, Jason's going to help get her somewhere safe.
Yes. I just feel bad for what that storyline could be if she stayed in Port Charles because I liked seeing the relationship between her and Michael this week. It would be fun to see that develop instead of shipping her off wherever she's going to decide to go, to have no contact with him or anyone else.
Right. I'm just wondering if Willow's going to be caught quickly. She's going to go to Ferncliff and Sasha's going to stay and she and Michael are going to get back together and then they're going to raise the kids together. But she will not adopt Wiley and Amelia.
No.
But she'll definitely
step in as their mom. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like she would also do a good job of making sure that they do know who Willow is. She's not going to replace them.
Right. Ferncliff doesn't have to be forever.
No, we know that one.
So, but I don't know. I hope that if they're going to have Willow break that they do let the truth come out about what a slime ball he is, and that be what causes the break, not
That's
the
probably
stuff
going to
we
be it.
did. I hope so.
That might be it. Yep. I'm just doing a quick scroll. I do think that's it. The quote on the wall at the gallery was really nice too. It was because Joel actually was able to, they had him share about how this is kind of like a prequel to the photo arc where he took all the baby photos.
Mm-hmm.
So the quote on the wall was, all creatures, great and small, are valuable, magnificent, and deserve a basic right to exist.
Beautiful.
And that's from Joel Sartore. Oh, we can end on this. Sonny and Laura left the police department after the whole Ezra ambush interrogation thing, and the fireworks start going off, and he looks up and smiles and then looks at her. He's smiling because that's his business. Because he's having a good night in business.
I just made some money there.
And he's looking at her like, you don't even know. That's what I do.
All right. We'll give you that.
That was my thought when Sonny smiled at the fireworks.
Okie dokie.
Yep.
I was just happy that the fireworks didn't make like him and Laura kiss or something weird because, fireworks have an odd effect on people.
Oh, there were no kisses for the fireworks this year.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Reality check.
All right. Well, the last time we recorded was the 3rd. So it's been 8 days.
Yes. Because we could record on Thursday because there was no episode Friday.
Yep. So how was your 4th of July?
It was boring, but a good boring. Madeline walked in the local parade with her dance studio. So that was nice. It's kind of funny because my mom used to work at one of the stores that's along the main route, and she would always be like, bring the girls down. And I was like, no, I don't want to get stuck in that traffic. I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I am not doing their parade. And there was one in another local town that their dad used to drive the ambulance in. So we would always go to that one. And so then this year we finally had to go to the one closest because that is Madeline's dance studio location. So we dropped her off and then met her at the end of it. But she was happy to do it, Another one of those things that she'll get to say, I did that.
Right.
And then we just had like a chill day at home for the rest of the day until it was time for fireworks. And then we went and saw the fireworks, and it was just her, me, and Ryan, and my brother met us there, and that was that. Oh, my mom got out of the nursing home this week. So thank you again for all your thoughts and prayers. She is home and recovering nicely. They're going to have some like home health aides come and keep working with her, like therapy wise stuff to keep building up her strength. But other than that, she is perfectly recovered. So
awesome. That's great.
Yes. How about you?
Kind of the same. We just hung out at home, and we actually had fireworks. We could see them from our pool and in 2 different directions. And then I sent you a video the next night of more fireworks that we could see from my house. I have a really good location for being able to see fireworks multiple times during the year. But
do you kiss random people?
Yes. Yes. I leave my husband at my house and I go find a random stranger.
Your backyard is kind of big. You can be like, honey, you stay on the porch. I have to go walk over to the pool and kiss someone random because there's fireworks.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, like the rest of the week was pretty chill. My daughter and I built her new bed, so that was fun. And she did most of it, so that was really cool.
Oh, nice.
And the reason that we're recording on Friday night this week, I feel like we don't have to justify this anymore, but I'm going to Picklesburg tomorrow, which is the 10th year, and I have never gone. And I love pickles, and Erica and I are going because she was like, do you want to go? And then she said something. She's like, well, you don't have to go if you don't want to. I was like, no, it just really occurred to me that I am literally the only person in my family that likes pickles. So even if I had wanted to go, I knew not to even ask. And I don't know anyone else who really would have gone. So
yeah, that's so funny. My daughters went last year and I did not go. I don't dislike pickles. I just don't feel like we need to have a whole festival around them.
I am like way too excited about the food that I am going to be having. I was so good the past like 3 days.
Are you going to ride the mechanical pickle?
No, I am not going to ride a mechanical pickle.
Come on.
Because then she can't, but then she can't because she just had that ACL surgery. So I'm not going to.
I feel like she would understand. I feel like our fans would like that on our Facebook page just to see you ride in a mechanical pickle.
But no. Okay, well, how about we see? We see. I can't promise yes or no. So.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's going to be fun.
It should be fun. I can't wait to hear about what odd foods you try while you're there.
There's one that is a pickle stuffed. It's a hot dog stuffed in a pickle wrapped in bacon.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very excited about that one.
Okay.
Have you seen those pickle sandwiches that they make though? Like instead of bread, like you get like a really big pickle and you use that. I have not done that yet. I'm going to guess that I'm going to have some tomorrow.
Megan really likes pickles, so when that like came out, wasn't that like Jimmy John's or one of those places that had it? I was surprised that Megan did not try it there, but
yeah, they also have like an Old Bay buffalo chicken and pickle stuffed pretzel. Come on.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. So.
Okay.
And I'm going to have an even better day on Tuesday when we take a little road trip because it's about 4 hours away from us to see Jonathan Jackson and Claire Bowen. I still forget how to pronounce it. And now I feel like I think it's Bowen.
I think it's Bowen also.
But I really think that it's one of those names that I'm always going to now second guess how I say it.
Mm-hmm.
And watch their show. And we got the VIP passes. So there is a meet and greet. And I'm never going to wash my body again. So you get to have the pleasure of being the last person with me before
you stink. Okay, good.
Yes. But yeah, so join us on Thursday as we share more about whatever
happens on this road trip. Okay.
Yep.
So with that, have a good week.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.